Hey, it's Jenny B from vitalitybyjenny.com, and today we're going to talk about being obsessed with food. So this can mean a couple of different things, but my clients talk to me about it, fairly often. And it's the situation where you feel like you're eating a lot, but you're always constantly thinking about food. So if you're not eating food, you're thinking about what you're going to eat. Just kind of obsessing all day long about food, thinking all day long about food. And, most of us don't want to do that. We don't want to think about food any more than we have to. We want it to be an enjoyment to think about food, not to be something that is always on our mind, because we have lots of other things that we'd like to be on our mind. So if you are feeling full, if you get a full sensation and then an hour later you're already thinking about what you want to eat next, you're already feeling hungry again, or you're, hungry all day long, this kind of a situation, then what I have found it to be most likely, usually, is that you have not been eating the right types of foods when you're eating. So they're usually very healthy foods, but it's usually when people are basing their meals off of vegetables or low-calorie foods, and they're like salads. The salads is usually the prime example. And so they're eating a bunch of salad, a huge salad, and they feel physically full, but then an hour later they're hungry and they can't understand why. They're like, I just ate an enormous bowl of salad and I should not be hungry. So they go into this whole feeling like there's something emotionally wrong with them, that they're eating for emotional reasons, or that there's, just something off with them about food, and because they're already obsessing about food an hour later when they've eaten so much volume of food already. And the problem is that they don't realize that the food that they're eating, while it is high in volume, it's low in calories. And so yes, you did just eat a lot of food, but it didn't give you the calories that you needed to sustain your body. And it didn't give you the sugars that you needed for all of the cells in your body. It gave you enough just for, the hour that lasted until you were hungry again. And so you need to refocus on different types of foods. And the person that this usually happens with is someone who has been focused on weight loss and has been kind of in the weight loss industry for a long time. And so they believe that, to lose weight, you need to eat a lot of vegetables or eat low-calorie foods so that you're not taking in as many calories as you are expending. And while, there's of course some truth to that, you still have to eat enough calories to maintain your body. So you can't be eating vegetables all day long and assume that that's going to keep you satisfied. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, because that's only going to be, if you eat 2 salads, that's still, maybe 200 to 300 calories, depending on what you put on it and what you dress it with. But really, there's hardly any sustenance there. And so, of course you're going to be obsessed with food. Of course you're going to be hungry right again afterwards. And no, there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you at all. And it's amazing to me how many times people feel like they have emotional eating issues when a large percentage of that is just that they're not getting enough calories. And, well, I still believe, unlike other people who are proponents of 80-10-10, I've heard them say that there's really no emotional eating issues at all, and that it's all just a matter of not getting enough calories. I don't necessarily agree with that, because I know that it can be a large part. Yes, I used to think that I myself was an emotional eater, and that I was obsessed with food, and that I had a really unhealthy relationship with food mentally. And once I started eating enough calories, the majority of that really went away. But I still have those days where I definitely feel like, because of the emotional or mental state that I'm in, I choose different things around food, or that I have to really watch when I'm in a certain mental state. I have to really watch my choices around food, because it's easier for me to choose things that I wouldn't normally choose to eat. And so I do still believe that there is a connection between food and emotions, but not necessarily as big of a deal as what it is what we think it can be. You know, we believe that we can really put the blame on emotions so many times when it really can be much more simple than that. So you have to take care of the physical stuff first and then move on to the emotional. So to get your physical stuff in order, you want to make sure that you're eating enough calories for your body. So if you're a woman, I mean, around 2,000, if you know, for a good starting base point to kind of spring off of, you want to shoot for around 2,000. Coming from healthy sources, of course. So you'll want to be eating more fruit. So instead of eating a salad for lunch, you can either eat fruit, all fruit, or you can start it with some fruit and then eat salad afterwards. Or you can eat a salad with fruit on it. I love to make a salad with bananas and blueberries and, you know, just different fruits all mixed in with the greens, and it's really delicious that way too. That way you're getting the volume, but you're also getting more calories. So I will even have certain days myself still where if I have not eaten enough calories the day before because I was busy or I just didn't have things in the house that I wanted, or for whatever reason I didn't eat as many calories as I normally do, then the next day, or sometimes it'll have to be 2 days in a row or something, but you know, situations come up where I've undereaten and then all of a sudden one day it's like I can't get enough food. And that's because I've undereaten enough times that you know, my glycogen levels have become depleted, and I'm working that day that I'm obsessing about food, I'm working at restoring all of those levels in my body, and so I'll actually eat more that day than I normally would. So I'll feel full after I eat a meal, and yet I still am craving more food, and that's because I underate for those couple of days or however long, and so I'm kind of making up for it that day and restoring those glycogen levels in my body so that I can feel satiated. And it usually just takes the one day, and then the next day I'm fine and I'm not obsessing about food anymore. So it just takes a mental switch of recognizing what's going on, and if you feel like you are obsessing about food one day, then just allow yourself to eat more that day. You know, don't overdo it, but allow yourself to eat more and see what you feel like the next day. Make sure, of course, that you're eating healthy foods. So allow yourself to eat more fruit, and then the next day, notice if, you know, your obsession with food has gone away. If you have been under eating and it's been severe for a long periods of time, so say especially in the diet field, if you've, you know, ate a lot, you've binged and then you undereat, and then you binge and then you undereat, and you kind of go on this roller coaster or go on a diet, you know, a new diet phase, and then you come off the diet and you eat whatever you want, kind of a thing. If you've done any of that type of a cycle, then it's going to take most likely it will take more than one day for your body to normalize itself. So where it takes me only one day after I've undereaten for a couple days, if you've been on this whole roller coaster, then your body may need, you know, several days, or I'm not sure, but maybe even a week, you know, several days to a week to normalize itself, to replenish its glycogen levels, and to where your body knows that it's going to be getting the calories that it wants. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you would like a free recipe ebook, then just go ahead and jump on over to www.happysexyhealthy.net, and you can grab a free, instantly downloadable ebook right there. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.